The brain that cannot learn from mistakes. We all know someone, the person who makes the same mistake over and over, who never seems to learn from consequences, who can look at the result of their choices and feel nothing, change nothing. For years, we called this a character flaw, a choice, a moral failure. In 2024, researchers found the truth is more complex, and it's written in brainwaves. Espani and colleagues studied participants with varying levels of psychopathic traits. Now, let's be clear, psychopathy is not a movie villain. It exists on a spectrum. Many people have some psychopathic traits: low empathy, thrill-seeking, charm without warmth. Full clinical psychopathy is rare. Subclinical traits? Far more common. The researchers used EEG, brainwave monitoring, to measure electrical activity in the brain while participants did a simple task: make a choice, get feedback, learn, adjust. The basic loop of how we navigate life. They focused on a specific brainwave signal called the P300, a blip of electrical activity that fires about 300 milliseconds after we process information. It's linked to attention, decision-making, and crucially, the moment we register, "I got that wrong." In people with high psychopathic traits, the P300 signal was distinctly disrupted when processing negative feedback, not when processing positive feedback. They noticed rewards just fine. But when they needed to register, "that was a mistake and I should change course," the signal was weak, misfiring, or absent. The brain was not correctly registering the consequence, so no correction could happen. Not because they didn't want to change, but because the neural signal that normally triggers recalibrate simply wasn't firing properly. The researchers described it as a fundamental disruption in reward-based learning, the very mechanism that teaches us to avoid pain, follow rules, and adapt socially. This finding has enormous implications for how we approach psychopathy, in courts, in prisons, in therapy rooms. For decades, the assumption was that people with psychopathic traits were morally choosing not to learn. This study shows the learning mechanism itself may be compromised. It opens the door to targeted interventions, therapies specifically designed around the way these individuals do respond, rather than the way we expect them to. Reward-based learning rather than consequence-based, different pathways to the same destination. It also reinforces that psychopathy is a spectrum, not a light switch. The researchers called for legal and clinical frameworks to reflect this nuance, instead of treating it as a binary category. Lesson learned. Not every person who repeats harmful behavior is choosing to ignore consequences. Some brains are genuinely wired to struggle with processing negative feedback. Understanding this doesn't excuse harm, it changes how we respond to it. Punishment alone rarely works when the circuit that processes punishment is disrupted. And for all of us, the next time you find yourself stuck in a pattern you cannot break despite knowing better, it's worth asking, is this a willpower problem or is this a signal problem? Because the answer changes everything about how you fix it. Next, what if the structure of your brain predicted your political behavior more than your beliefs did? A 2024 study of veterans with brain injuries found something that no politician could spin.